Hey guys, just a quick comment. I told you I was going to be gone for a while. Um, Rough week. My kitty cat had to be put down, had him 14 years. So my buddy's gone. Then my daughter had her cat. She had to put it down like 2 days later and had poker tournament. So I was just playing poker and waiting on parts and ordering things. I got everything in. I got new fuel pump, new starter, got a little mini starter. Even though I'm going stock stuff, I like the mini starter. And I just took this apart and cleaned it up. This is a divider plate. It's actually, I mean, any other car, I'd probably put it back in there, but I'm just going to go ahead and order new stuff. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just ordering some parts, putting together the package of things I'm going to need just to take up to the builder. And I wanted it to appear, as stock as possible. These little things that went in here for the emissions, I'm probably not going to put them back in. I'm just going to plug them. If somebody wants to add it, they can, but I don't want to interfere with this badass motor I'm going to have built. So, as bad as it can be for, a 400. Anyway, that's it. I've just been gone a while. I probably won't do much for another week. I'm just putting this stuff together. He actually called, the builder did. The block is fine. They're doing the machine work. So at least they're working on it now. I mean, I knew it was going to be, it was supposed to be just a couple months. Well, it turned into 4, almost 5. And I've just been gathering parts. New distributor. I went with the Pertronics flamethrower. Got a new cold case. It's an aluminum radiator. I'm just going to paint it black. And that's about it. Got a new dipstick set up. This one was just, I don't even know what it was out of, but it was just wrong. So, it's kind of one of those things, you start tearing things apart and you find more and more. So, it adds up, $100 here, another $100 there. You've all been there, crap you deal with. Other than that, I ordered, actually my wife's picking up today the flex additive for the primer. I'm going to go ahead and take these down some more till I'm all the way to the plastic. And since I'm probably not going to paint till spring at this point, I'm going to do some sim and then I'm going to mix some with some flex additive for the primer. And I'll let it set a month or so, and then we'll do a crinkle on it and see if it cracks or see if it holds up good. So a little experiment that I can put on, and that's it. It's cold as hell outside, and I just wanted to let you know. Go ahead and forgot, I just ain't doing much. So I'll be back, if I don't do a whole lot, probably another week or so, and we'll go from there. Thanks. Old grungy one, new one. It's a new aluminum one that I actually painted it blue so it looked stock. And then again, didn't do a super smooth paint job. I wanted it to look original, so kind of left like that. That's it. Next. Okay, so I'm going to do a little experiment with some sim and then some flex additive and some Shopline primer. I took an old bumper, I've sanded it down. It has cracks in it, like that, and has them across here. Well, I sanded them out from here back. I'll make a little map so we know where it's at. And then the same thing on this. This had some cracks in it. And you can see them, well, I have to clean it up, but you can see the cracks under here. And on this side, I sanded it until they were gone. Same thing over here. They were just little bitty tiny cracks, and I sanded them till they're gone. And I'll spray half sim, and then use some flex additive. We'll give it, I don't know, we'll give it a couple of weeks, month, whatever. I'll come out every once in a while and bend it. I'm actually going to shoot some on some little plastic pieces too that I can flex and see from both sides, just to see what works better out of those two. There may be other stuff, but that's what I'm going to do because I'm using one or the other. And I'll follow this up. That's all I'm going to do is sand that. These I've been sanding on to get ready, but I got time now, so I'm gonna experiment a little. I got in here and painted a few more bolts. Got my fan spacer done for the car. That little nub actually broke off, so I epoxied it back on. I don't think with the bolts going through, it's gonna affect anything. And other than that, just cleaning stuff up. So, on to the next one. Okay. So I did one side in sim, one side in high build primer, and then I did some tape. And we will give this a couple of days to harden up, and we'll see how flexible and how sticky it is. And I actually went in right in here. I kind of put like 4 coats on to see how, if it's very thick, how it will flex. So we'll check back on that in a few days, and I may just wait and do this all in one video. So there's a beginning and an end, and maybe you can get it all at once, but we'll give that a try. We'll see. Bye. Cool. Well, it's been a couple days. Didn't do good in poker. Finished like 45th out of, I think there's 800 or 900 people. And then stack was just too low to do anything with, so I went all in with a pair of 2s, and Ace Jack beat me. He got it on a turn. So anyway, back to the car. So it's been a couple days, and right now I'm just going to peel some of the tape. I still want this to sit longer before I start messing with it, but where I just taped over where I wrote notes and things, I can't stand it. I want to get out here and look. So we're just going to see what happens when I bend a little. This is the sim stuff. So I'm going to pull a little bit off of here. And this is written, this is sim under here. So we can play with this a little bit and see what it does when I bend it. It's cracking as I bend it. Now that's putting a sharp 90-degree in it, but I wanted to see what this stuff does. This was the shop line with the flex additive in it. I mean, again, that's being awful. But I can tell you right now, it's better than the sim. At least at this point, because let me focus in here. I'm going to bend this piece. I've damn near been at 90 degrees, and there's no bend in that. Let me grab another piece of this sim, and we'll do the same thing again. That's just pointing down to where some cracks were. It seems to have covered the cracks, but let's focus here and bend this a little. See, it starts cracking right there. I mean, I can feel that it's stiff. Now, you're never going to bend it that much, but just for the, as far as it being flexible. Let me get over here. I mean, it's probably fine because you're never going to flex anything more than what I'm doing right there. It's just, you're just not. So it's going to bend a little bit. But you want to see what's better. This stuff is okay. I mean, it snapped right there. So that one's going to about 70-degree bend, which you're never going to get that. I mean, this stuff here, this is just for putting bumpers on, and you'll flex them a little bit like that. That seemed to be fine. Let's see what this does here. Yeah, I think it's going to be fine there. Now, remember too, I put this on pretty thick. But this stuff is not bending, is not cracking. Damn, I can fold it in half. That's pretty much a no-brainer for me. As of right now, it's been like 3 days since I did this. The shop line, or just regular primer with the flex additive in it, is definitely better than the Sim stuff. Now I think the Sim is going to do fine on a bumper because we're not going to bend a bumper 90 degrees. All you're going to do is flex it in. But what I wanted to do was go ahead and sand this like we would, get it smooth so we know what it's going to be. And I might even, since I've got time, I might even go ahead and put some base coat and some clear coat on it in those spots, and we'll see. But as of right now, the Sim would be okay to put on maybe 1 or 2 little coats just for adhesion. But that's another thing we're going to look at. Not right now. I want to let this harden up a little bit more because the temperature's been like 65 in this shop. So I want to give it plenty of time to harden, which would be what we would do anyway. If we painted something, it's going to sit for a while. And then I'll sand and we'll check and see if it adheres good. But I think I can, we'll follow up. But as of right now, shop line with the flex additive. And the one I used was the one they recommend. It wasn't a universal or anything. It was that. And I used that in that. Now, I'd say you can probably use that in any primer, but I'm going to go ahead and stitch this video together and leave it at that, and we'll pick it up later. But I wanted to see that, and good enough for me. Shop line. If you're going to do one little bumper, the can of Sim, $20, and that one little pint of flex additive was like $50. So you got to do a few things, but I got 3 pieces, 2 noses, a rear bumper, and all the flares I'm going to do. And you're going to do stuff in the future. So I think the Sim would do okay, just as long as it adheres good, which we'll see soon. But for me here in the shop, I don't mind keeping extra things around because you're going to do more of them. But that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go with that. Unless things change. If it hardens up over the next week and then, that flex additive is supposed to evaporate out, that's what they say. But we're going to see. So we'll go from there.